Okay, so I think today's Tuesday. So I don't know if I'm gonna leave tomorrow or the next day. Man, I am so exhausted. This morning I was conked out, and then this morning Stella, well, she woke me up in the middle of the night, and she just was like up and excited and just wanted to play, and I was like, hell no. And then I went back to sleep, and then I was deep in some dream. It was weird because I was in this dream and I was sitting with these people, or I was watching these people or something, and they kept saying this word over and over and over that means something very specific to me. And they kept saying it over and over and over. It's like, am I confused or something? Was this a movie or something? It was so real. It was so bizarre, but they kept saying it and saying it. And then she woke me up, and it's one of those days where I just feel totally out of it. I mean, I was deep, deep in this dream, in this other place, in this other world. And there was something going on that was very specific. So now I feel so out of it. God, I hate that. And then I tried to go back to sleep after she woke me up. I came out. She didn't even want to do anything. She just wants to go outside. She just wants to go out and walk around here all the time. She loves it here. And it is like a paradise. Like, it is crazy how nice it is. And it is like its own little bubble of beauty. There's birds singing everywhere. These freaking ravens are hilarious. They follow you around. They're keeping an eye on you. One came up right here on this roof. There's like a roof that goes out over the porch. And they came out. One came right up there and looked in the window, was watching me and started talking to me, and I was talking to it. They are really, really cool. They're super smart. And anyways, the birds and just all the stuff, it's really cool. And so I had even said, I was sitting here going like, man, I don't really even have to go home. Like, why do I have to go home? Well, for one thing, I need more clothes because it's fucking freezing here. It's not, I brought all these beach clothes, and then come here, it's like, damn, this is cold. Does it ever get summer? But it is only like sunny for a few hours where it's warm, and then it is cold in the morning and cold in the evening. So I guess, kind of reminds me of what I imagine, I was about to say New Hampshire or something, those little ocean towns where the little fisherman towns. That's what it kind of reminds me of or something. But the weird things are, so like right now when I look up, there's some blue sky past the atmosphere thing. But the weird things are that, so I had said, I would come, like, I could come and help do stuff around here. Like, it's nice because Stella's having so much fun. And so he said he was going to talk to his sister and see if the schedule worked out, because this place is booked all the time. Like, people come here for a vacation. And it is like this little house. This guest house is bigger than my house, like a lot bigger. And so it's super nice. And then just having a break up in the scenery from what my life has been the last couple of years, just in this very confined space. And it's so crazy too, because I'm not scared of sickness. Like, I would have never been able to get my ass up and go to work if I was scared of sickness, like all these people are scared of germs. Like, I would have never been able to go to the hospital and work around sick people. Like, it's mental how people are so scared of germs and sickness and illness. It's like, you've got to go out and get a little bit so you build up an immune system so you don't get every little sickness. So I'm not scared of sickness or anything. It's just that once the world went crazy, it became clear to me that the world had gone crazy, and this was the time of change. And, I know I'm here for a purpose, so I'm not going to go out and do some of this stuff, like the stuff that people keep going and doing. It's like they're just trying to make this world fit the lifestyle they want for themselves. It's like, why can't you recognize the world is changing? Like, what are you willing to accept? What kind of abuse are you willing to accept for yourself? It's bizarre to me. It's like, so some people don't go out for totally different reasons than why I don't go out, because I'm sure the hell not wearing one of these. or doing any of these or any of that. Like, it's enough poison. I just saw a thing this morning when I got up, because I've been up so long, is I was looking at TikToks, and there's a bunch about the spraying and stuff, and it said that it was a report. It might have been a Canadian report. I see so much Canadian stuff, so much with the Canadian. I must follow a lot of people from Canada because I see all sorts of stuff going on there all the time. So it might have been one of their reports. It was a report from somewhere, and it was talking about the stuff that they're spraying on us, and that oh no, it was talking about the towers. That's what it was. It was talking about those and the radiation that's coming out and how it affects your eyes. So see, my eyes are already wounded. And you know what I really think? Like, when I put all this stuff together, and I don't even fucking care anymore how crazy I sound. Like, I don't fucking care. I think that the things that they do to our eyes, especially if you're older, because there's all these older people on eye shots, I think they are purposely targeting our eyes for a reason. The old people especially. Like, there's something to it. It is, you know, I mean, and what I'm having to go through with my eyes, it's unbelievable. So now, you know, I don't know if they're really going to get better, because I could definitely tell every time I drove past a tower how that would just like burst out. But just a few times while I've been sitting here, it hasn't been as extreme, but all of a sudden I just feel that burn in my eyes, so intense. And as soon as it starts burning, then the tears just start flowing, and the tears are like salt water on an open wound. And so it burns. And then I'm sure the chemicals burn. I think I have something on my face. I don't know. I can't see shit. I'm not kidding you. Oh my gosh, I was so hopeful too that my eyes were going to be so much better. But that report was talking about the eyes, and it was talking about another thing too that was, I was like, oh, see? It was, the radiation does do something to people's minds and stuff, but something else that I talk about, and it confirmed what I said, but I don't remember what it is now, because I feel loopy or something. But I'll tell you one thing. It is, this to me is like a challenge. Like, the universe is like, here's a little challenge for you. Let's see what you could do with this. Especially somebody who you've spent years and years and years and years. Like, I've known this person since I was 21. Was married to him from the time I was 30 until I was 45, I think. So, you know, there's a lot of, there's been a lot of arguing, like, for a lot of time. It's always been, and I think when I was, well, he used to tell me when I was really younger and I was constantly arguing and challenging him, I was the first person who ever did that to him. And so that was quite intriguing to him. That was the fascination of me, I guess. Stella, I'm doing something, please. She's so bossy. She just wants all my attention all the time. Even if I'm asleep, that's too much. I swear to God, sometimes when I'm dreaming, and it's certain people in my dream, she comes and wakes me up. Like, she knows. Like, no, Mom, you're not going to go in there with them. It's like, oh, girl, I was enjoying that dream. And so, anyways, the challenge, you know, when, you know, you've always argued with this person, and then to come, and then it's like so opposing, like so on two different spectrums, totally. Oh, it was the insects. That's what it said, that the microwaving is killing the insects. And that's what I said. And certain ones I think are being targeted, while others, you know, are being like, in Florida, it showed them spraying for mosquitoes. They're probably spraying vitamins for the mosquitoes to build the mosquito population up while they're killing the other populations of insects, because they're just throwing the whole ecosystem off, all about control and all about their goddamn, this is still really hot, all about their fucking virtual world. I saw the first commercial last night, and it was the new, like, you join the group. kind of like insurance, only this is like you pay your monthly fee or something so you can be a part of this doctor group. And it's all virtual, all Zoom. And it is, it's all going to be based on super science with the, you send in your DNA, they go in, they put it in their machine, and they say, oh, you need this pill, this pill, this pill, and this pill, and then you're going to have a great life. Just take these pills. That's it. That's your whole medical thing. It's all going to be based on that, but it's so high tech. And it's all about what pills you take. And if you won't take the prescribed pills, you're not allowed to go there. Just like they're already not seeing people. They're already turning people away if you haven't had this. I've heard the story after story after story of people being turned away by medical at this point. And it's in all different states. So it's not just one, but this is their movement. And one person came into I showed the commercial. And one person came into my comments and they said, well, I've worked in medical and we had to start doing Zoom because we were getting so sick all the time from everybody. So we had to start doing virtual appointments, which that's what my doctor does now, is these virtual appointments. So, but it's all part of their plan. See, it's all get us comfortable, like, oh, they're used to it now. We'll just go the next step. It's what abuse we allow. So we used to have doctors that would go around, come to our house, see us, talk to us, get to know us, spend time with us, and give us real solutions of things that we could do to try and feel better. Now we have where we just call a big group and talk to someone on the phone that, I don't know, could be Jennifer Aniston playing a doctor in this fucking virtual world. So then they're going to tell us exactly what medicines to take. But we already have these spokespeople who are out there telling us what to do with our bodies. So, it's just another step. Just another step of control. And all the stuff with the food, I saw more stuff with the farmers in Canada reaching out to people over what's going on there. Which is going on everywhere. I don't even know how he has his going. But the thing is, like, when I'm sitting there, like, I say anything. Like, he has a dead tree. And I said something about the tree being dead. I go, what's wrong with that tree? Did it die or something? And he starts going through this long thing about, trees die, and the chestnut, all the chestnuts died at one time, and so then they had to bring in the English chestnuts and all this stuff. And the whole time he's telling me this stuff, I'm thinking, have you ever heard of false history? Have you ever heard of them covering shit up to lie to us, to create this reality? But, none of that. So he's telling me all that, but all I'm hearing is like, man, this is just the history you're fed. And then she's spinning circles right now. And so then all of a sudden in his thing, he goes, and, your trees have a beetle. It's a beetle that's killing your trees. You're not being sprayed by something that's killing your trees. Don't. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not triggered. I am not triggered by this. Now, as a matter of fact, it feels kind of sneaky because I'm talking about this stuff, and they haven't seen it yet. And it's, none of them have seen it, but I've seen it, but they don't have that kind of respect for my opinion or what I see, or that I could ever see anything that made sense, so they're not going to acknowledge anything. I'm just, that wacky girl, that crazy person. But, and I said, oh, so they just did the whole town, like these big orange splashes went over all of the trees over one town all at one night. He goes, yeah, that's how it works. Like, okay. I that's all I can do. Over and over and over and over. Because, I've been lectured on science, a lot of stuff at this point. And it's just like, okay. To me, well, I know that's your opinion, and I know it's a very limited perspective, and I know that you're going to be challenged. Your ego is going to be very challenged when you hear the truth, especially when you find out that the crazy girl knew it the whole time, but you wouldn't listen. So it's kind of, It's weird. This is a weird thing. And synchronistically, so usually I would say by 2 weeks, Newcastle After Dark, I'll start being like, oh, when are they going to post? When are they going to post? Oh, I'll start checking. When are they going to post? When are they going to post? And so they posted a movie while I was driving, and I hadn't get to see it yet. Oh, my nose is starting to run again. These fucking chemicals and shit. And so yesterday I got to finally watch it. And so I watched it last night. It's called The Screaming Woman, and it has Olivia de Havilland. It's really old. I think it's like from 1972 or something. And it was so good. And the thing is, it was so synchronistic to what is happening right now. So I'm going to tell what the movie is, but, I don't think it's going to spoil anything. And, but this woman who is thought to be crazy and insane, she's super rich and her family's trying to drive her crazy and insane, it seems, especially the daughter-in-law wants her to be crazy, like, Sweet Charlotte or Hush Baby. I can't remember those movies now. Hush, Sweet Charlotte. I'm pretty sure that was one where they were trying to drive her crazy. But that was kind of a common thing for a while in movies, in the old movies when I was a kid. So she is thought to be crazy. And so she goes out for a buggy ride or something in the morning. And I'm sure she was in a buggy with a horse. But it's not really old. She just has like an estate or something, and she just goes out for a little ride. And so she gets out and she's walking, and she hears someone screaming, or not screaming. She hears someone saying, help me, help me, help me. So then she figures out the person's in the ground. And so she starts screaming. She starts freaking out that someone's in the ground screaming for help. So she just goes crazy and starts running into her house, goes in there, and they all just think she's hysterical all the time. Just, shut up, calm down. So nobody will believe her. Nobody will listen to her. She goes through all this stuff, goes through the whole thing, trying to get somebody to listen to her and help her. And her hands won't work. She's got severe arthritis, so she is having problems digging for herself. So she keeps trying to get someone to help her, but nobody will believe her. So she's going through all this. Finally, at the end, this whole big thing happens. And she's totally vindicated. Everything just comes out, and it's like, oh, so the crazy person knew it the whole time, and nobody was listening. And look at that. Look what was happening. This woman was about to die, and nobody was listening to this woman. I was like, well, isn't that interesting? Because I think we're close. I think we're very close to that occurring, that things flipping, and all of a sudden the crazy people were the ones who had the information, and the other people were just still locked into the 3D matrix, especially when they rely so much on science. It is so bizarre too how people who are so consumed by the science theology that they don't recognize that it is the same religion control system. They don't see it. They completely, they worship it. It's like, build an altar. Oh, let's give to the science god, It's like, fuck off with this shit. Science is a fucking phony ass shit. Whoever disagrees gets killed, and whoever agrees gets paid. So, kind of corrupt, right? Kind of corrupt like the rest of the system. It's like anything that is part of the system is going down. It's all going down. It's so crazy because people hold on so tight. You can see this, you can see this, you can see this, you can understand all this, but you're still holding on. And I have said that since the beginning of this whole thing started. I said the main thing as this system is going down is do not hold on to anything about it. Because that holding on is what is going to just rip you apart. When you can let go of it and you can recognize you don't have to be anything with it. You don't have to, it's like stepping into observation. It's like stepping out of the game and into the observation galley or something, You begin to just observe. And that is where you take away like good or bad. You know, there is no good or bad. It's all of a balance. And good and bad have to work together, because if everything was all good, you wouldn't know, because how would you know it was good if you didn't have something that was bad to show you? So it works together. It all works as a part of not just the system, but it's the whole solar system. And I saw something else too this morning that was giving me a confirmation too, when it was talking about something with the solar system. And was it something about our healing or something? I can't remember. But we are changing the solar system, because it is a system. If you think about the system as the solar system as a huge body of life, and all of the thoughts that go on inside of that system, when you open yourself up to them, you're a part of that system. Just like in nature, they don't, I mean, when you go out and you watch the birds and the animals and the insects and the flowers, the trees, all of it, it doesn't have to be told what to do. It just does its thing, and it does it naturally, and it goes through its process. And it appreciates its life while it has it, you know? And that, look at the difference in the human experience compared to the rest of nature, which we are a part of nature. We should be also in that human experience. But we are, you know, pulled into a matrix reality where they are completely trying to go virtual. I mean, on that commercial, everything was phone. Like, they just want people's eyes glued to the phone. The only time that they want you to take your eyes off the phone is if you are working somewhere. But most of the jobs are going to go to AI. So, you know, they're going to, who knows how dark they were going to take it. I think more and more stuff is going to keep coming out to show us where we were headed. But I do think that there's going to be some abrupt stuff that is going to be happening. And it's still, to me, there's going to be something really, really big. Like, I still think there's going to be something really huge. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I think something big is going to be happening soon. But I don't know that it's the whole thing, you know, because there has been so many big things, but it could be just something like, you know, if they decertify and then all of a sudden they say, hey, that guy's not him, it's this guy, and shit blows up. Because there is still, not only is there still people who are just stuck on the orange man being the problem. Joe hadn't done anything. Poor Joe. I mean, he's just trying to clean up the orange guy's mess. Like, what the hell? Like, what do you expect from the poor guy? I mean, you know, the other guy had 4 years. He just fucked everything up. And so now this poor old guy is just trying to fix it. It's like, what the fuck? Then on top of those people, you have the people who are anti-Trump now. Well, he hadn't done enough. He didn't come in and save us. I mean, pretty soon they're going to be like, Jesus isn't come to save us. Like, fuck that guy. Fuck this guy. Fuck that guy. Like, where's my savior? It's like, go in the bathroom, look in the mirror. You're looking at your savior right there. It's you. You're here to save you. Quit relying on everybody else to save you. That's not what this is about. This is about an awakening. This is about a reveal. This is about showing us what this world was, because it's time for us to heal, because the new world is not going to take broken people. Broken people don't get to go in and set up that world. That world is only going to be for people who are healed or in the process of healing. It's not going to be for people who are shitty to other people, who treat people bad, who are negative. And, you know, it's going to be a more positively charged, just in the sense as how this was negatively charged. That's the switch. As far as we've been negative in this one, when it goes, we're going to be that far in the positive. So you can see how if you are a negative person, you know, and you are just down on everyone, down on everything, and fuck this and fuck that, then where will you be? You're like, this is your place right here. Oh, and I had seen, I did some footage of, I got some really good shots of the sun while I was in Newport, and because of the cloud coverage, so you could see the silver disc back there. And then somebody shared my footage with somebody else and asked them, what do you think of this? And so that girl did a video on I've got a bunch of people doing videos on my videos right now. It's always kind of like I'll see it and I'll be like, oh, is it going to be somebody just ridiculing me and telling me how crazy I am for the whole world to see? Like, because, you know, I mean, but to me, David Icke is my hero. I just keep on being like, if David can do it, I can do it. You know, I can be called crazy. Yeah, but I know it's a lot more temporary. He did it for a long time. So I know I can get through this. But it does kind of give you that anxiety of like, oh, what is this going to be? So in this one, this girl said, yeah, this is something about, yeah, this is not the real sun. I can't remember how she worded it. But so I went in and started looking at all her videos. And so she's all about this. And I've seen this. See, this is what I started seeing when I very first started looking at the sky. And I started seeing something that looked like a planet behind. It was like from my deck of my house I lived at in Spokane, there was like this big shadow of this planet. And then it would be, it seems like it would be things that would go in front of it. Like it could be the sun or the moon or whatever. It's just this big shadow of this planet. And I would take pictures of it. And at the time I was on Facebook and I was putting it on, and it was, you know, it was before the big divide. So it was all sorts of people. And everybody, you know, would tell me like, well, that's, you know, that's ridiculous. There's nothing wrong with the sky. The sky's normal. You're just getting a, what they call it, some kind of a solar flash or some kind of a lens flash or something. They kept telling me it was that. Oh, it's just your lens, it's a lens thing or something. It's like, well, if I'm standing here looking at it and I see it, it's not my lens. It's not the camera. There's a fucking big giant shadow right there. And, but, you know, I mean, this was 6 years or 7 years ago. This is right after when I very first started having my awakening, after my healing, after my dark night, when I started getting like super spiritual. I mean, I was spiritual before. I've always been spiritual, but, you know, where I started being like, oh, Jesus Christ, they're talking to me like, they keep showing me stuff, like all sorts of, then I was seeing people coming in, like there's an Indian, like all sorts of stuff. I was having crazy stuff go on during this period. I'm still having crazy stuff. It's just another level, but I'm still like the whole thing of not feeling like I'm really here is so strong, so strong. Feeling like I'm like yesterday, like I was outside talking to him and we're standing there and, you know, I think I was getting the tree talk. And I'm standing there just listening and looking at him, and I'm seeing him as a person. But to me, who I'm seeing, because I could see me, it was weird because I could like see me and see him. But to me, I felt like I was just this big energy. I just felt like I was this energy. Like I felt like Kelly the body's not standing here. Kelly the soul is standing here. But I don't think everybody can see that, but I could feel it. And it was weird. And so things just keep changing in my conscious reality of who and what I am. So it's hard, you know, like things keep changing. But when I very first started waking up, I was having those weird things. Like I would be one place and all of a sudden I'd be somewhere else. And I'd be like, how the hell did I get here? I was just someplace, like weird shit was going on. Like that one time I was crouched down. I think I was doing something in my garden. And all of a sudden I was this little, like, I think Vietnamese or something. Could have been Filipino. I don't know. It was a little tiny Asian woman. And Asian in the sense, I know Asia has got, you know, a bunch of different things. But I think when we say Asian, mostly we don't think of, you know, people in Saudi Arabia or something. We think of, and what is it that is, it's not Saudi, or maybe it is, I don't know. But anyways, there's a country in Asia that, but that's I don't know, I can't even go into that right now. But anyways, but I think primarily, you know, it is more of, you get what I'm saying. I don't want to overdo it. So when I all of a sudden switched into her, and I was in a room and I was surrounded by all of these other women, and we were all in a circle and we were all crouched down, and it was like like this kind of like this bonding thing, like it was like a women thing, and we're all just down. It was kind of like, you know, like maids on a break or something, like, oh, let's all go down, let's just sit here and talk, you know, like everybody was very casual. But anyways, that's when that kind of stuff was happening. Were weird reality things, and I was looking at the sky, and everything started looking like I was in a three-dimensional picture, and it was kind of tripping me out, and nobody knew what the fuck I was talking about. And that's when I went to YouTube and started looking on YouTube and finding people who were talking about it. And that is, you know, what moved me in that kind of place. I'd never been on YouTube before that. But then when I started looking for stuff, that's when I went on YouTube, and it became my friend, because now I really like it. I love doing this, and I love talking to people and everything. So, but back then when that was going down and I was seeing that thing, that's when I very first started seeing people showing this kind of map thing with this Narubu and these other planets. So like, so this girl was showing the same map, and I paused it to try and really see it, because I've always just seen it and not been able to really look at it. And so it looked like to me, like if you think of us being a landmass and all these planets that are lining up, this planetary system, they're all like right here, and they're on top of each other. And this person was saying that they've put out a fake sun so that we don't realize that the real one's being blocked by these planets. So all these planets are lining up right here, and it's blocking the sun. Like, I don't know. I don't know any of this stuff, you know. But I go in and listen to different people. And like I said, I'll just put it in a little file, and then I'll see like how many more times does this come up, and this come up, and this come up. Where does it go in the puzzle? Does it fit together, or is it on another puzzle? You know, is it in the one I'm working on? And so to me, there is definitely something going on. Like when I went on that girl's page, oh my gosh, the pictures and stuff that she had, like if you find those pages where the people are just really into the sky stuff, it's fucking crazy. The sky pictures, she had pictures, so many pictures. Like if a lot of people are taking pictures of the sun and see it's pulsing and it's shooting out these colors and it's doing weird things, it's moving and all this weird stuff in these pictures. But this girl had these ones where it kept pulsing and it looked like angel wings coming out. And then there was some people standing in front of it, and it was the coolest pictures. And so many pictures where it is completely divided. The sky is in half, and one half is light and one half is dark. All sorts of stuff. So, and there has been so much in the awakening stuff. And I swear, maybe it was even in the book, not the Arcturians, the Anunnaki coming back. Maybe it was in that one too, but I've heard it so many times, like over and over and over. I'm sure we've all heard it. Watch the skies, watch the waters, watch the skies. The skies are going, something big is going to be happening in the sky. Is it going to be where they're going to try and make a fake attack? You know, I don't know. There's a lot of people talking about this Project Blue Beam and speculating that there's going to be a fake alien invasion. You know, anything could happen at this point. Like, and I think it probably will. I saw now, this is ridiculous. So there's a commercial. It must be a Ukrainian one, because it is the way that it's spoken in, was it a translated? I don't know. It was definitely, it was a Ukrainian thing. And so they were showing right now what's going on there. And in 2030, they're going to be the most progressive city. They're going to be completely NWO, all of the things that we've been told that they want to do. That's their beta city from what they were showing in this thing. That is going to be The advanced city that we all want to be like is there. And there was this long commercial, because the whole 3 minutes that this person did the video, I think it went on longer than that. So it could have been a whole show. I don't know. But it was showing everything is going to be digital and virtual. That's the whole thing, like your whole world, just like what they're doing with the doctors, just like what they're doing with everything. Pretty soon they're going to tell us that our food is virtual, which I still don't see. Like, there's a bug crawling on the wall. Like, why am I going to go pay them for bugs when I can just get them off the wall? Like, it's mental. And I'm not going to eat bugs, but there was a girl who, she did a video on the coolest old fucking house. I don't know what city she lives in or whatever. It was fucking cool as shit. And her whole yard, she let her yard go natural, which that's not allowed in the city limits, because it's all about control. So they're telling her she has to cut down all her noxious weeds, and her neighbors are complaining. They keep filing against her and stuff. And she said, she's just going witchy on her house because she's trying to grow all these herbs and all this natural stuff, which a whole bunch of people are out there saying, have you noticed whatever your body needs, it's all of a sudden growing in your yard? Like, yeah, and I just got a book on the foraging and stuff. But I did, when Stella got sick, that wild lettuce started popping up, and I made all that medicine. But still, I'm still in that kind of not completely comfortable yet, because I don't know that much about it. We haven't been taught that much about it, and the people who are out there trying to teach about it are getting censored. And so I've got the book coming and stuff, and I am going to just try that medicine and just see what happens if I take it. Like, that's what I'm just going to have to do. Even though she will have a different metabolism, at least I'll know what I'm giving, to her. And everything looks exactly right how I made it. So I don't think that would be making her have an ear infection or anything. I just feel like I'm paranoid. But where people are saying whatever they're having, like, whatever issues they're having, all of a sudden it's growing in their yard, a weed that will fix it. It's like people are realizing that the earth is listening to them. The earth is tuned into them, and the earth is supplying them with what they need. And it's happening for everybody, but not everybody's noticing. And so that is really interesting too. But that is, I think, a part of us crazy people who are starting to recognize what's real, and the other people who are still just trying to play the game. The game of life. Isn't that funny how they came up with that? The game of life. Because that's all it is a game. And not only that, it's a game that, like a video game, there's a total nightmare of a game. Like, it's a nightmare. I'm going to be so excited when this game is completed. Like, because I completed that, I already leveled up. I think I've gone up a couple of levels from where some people are still on one level. I think I keep going up other levels while other people are staying. There's becoming a bigger gap, because it's weird. My life is completely so different, and it all is by perspective. It's all by understanding. And so, and it's everyone else's limitations that hold them back. And that is so easy to recognize when you see that, because I see it in the people that I talk to. Their own limitations, their own belief system is what holds them back. It keeps their mind closed. It keeps their narrow-minded focus, because they can't open up beyond that. And that would be, different for each person, why they can't open themselves up to more information, why they stay so limited and stuff. Like, it's very trippy to me on this science thing and the religion thing. I mean, the religion thing, but that one, I can see why people are going to have a really hard time breaking free from it. Like, it doesn't matter how you say things. Like, on TikTok, I said something like, we have our division is going between science and religion. And then with the religion, you have it divided into the spiritual and then the religious ones. And the religious ones are like the science ones. You think they've got all the answers, think they're the smartest, and everybody else just needs to shut the fuck up. I have so many people come in and tell me, today I had somebody, I like you, but Jesus is real. It's like, dude, I'm not saying Jesus isn't real. I'm saying Jesus didn't come here to be worshiped. He didn't come here to save everybody else. He came here to tell you, just the same thing I'm doing, tell you how to live better for yourself, how to connect to what's out there, that this is real, what's out there. He was doing the same thing. And then they used that so that they could control people. And then they even turned it into their God, because the person who's being worshipped in religion will send you to hell. That is not that in people, like, but that is part of the fear-based reality, like, oh, well, God's going to send us to hell. We better do what he says, or we're going to be in hell forever. We're just little ants. So it's like, it's so much limitation, so much limiting beliefs. And I don't know what keeps them trapped. The same thing with the science. I don't know how they stay so trapped, how they can't see. Like, this world is built on corruption and greed, but surely that's not in the science community. What? Technology? No. Certainly that couldn't be a part of it. It's like, I mean, to some of us, things are so obvious, and to other ones, they've just got blocks. They don't see it. It's just something is blocking their view. Something is blocking the thought process to go to the next level. It's, and it's so crazy because how much of this is all based on ego, and how much ego is about to come to the surface, and how hard, I say, mark my words, when this stuff goes and everybody goes into this dark night with this ego coming up, it's gonna be something. It's gonna be intense, because it's so hard to face yourself. And so many people have got themselves so trapped, so buried, so deep in their beliefs. And when they have to really question their beliefs and why they believe them and how they believe them and all of that stuff, you have to look at yourself. And that is going to be a huge challenge. Like, I don't think everybody's going to get through the challenge. And I think it's going to be a very traumatic part of this scenario, how it's all playing out. That is going to be a hard part. When we get to that part where everybody suddenly sees the truth and they all go into the dark night, because I see so many people just here and there, who are waking up, going through that, and are just traumatized, just completely like how I was those 7 years ago. Like, what is happening? And everybody you talk to thinks you're crazy. Like, what is happening here? And so, when that goes into a mass amount of people at once, man, it's going to be intense. We're going to be run for cover. It's going to be intense. So, but that is, to me, the biggest reason why to just, you got to be in safety. You don't run out in a war and stand out in the middle of the field. Here I am. They've got the shootings going on, and that's going to just pick up until they get complete control, because they're desperate to keep control. They're desperate to win this. And even though they know they won't, they're just not going to stop, because they know what's going to happen when they do. And there's this ridiculous article, I guess, out right now, Ghislaine in jail, and it's going through all of her stuff. Oh, she's going to go to a low, like a kind of prison you can escape from pretty easy, I guess. It's more like a little resort. And all these great things that she gets to do there. It's like, why? Oh, God. If we were in prison, what would we be doing? We'd be picking rocks up in the desert. But, the people who own the prisons, the elitists, they go, and it's like, oh, we got a little resort here. Okay, cool. It's just so, oh, gosh. I don't know. But, I think the things are building up so much. It's like the volcano keeps spewing out. And who knows? I mean, we could have some of that going on right now. I have no idea. The only things that I have seen people talking about is the chemicals and realizing it. And there's still people, arguing back and forth over, seeing people saying, when are you going to stop believing in Trump? It's like, people have got to stop worshiping. Got to stop worshiping. The only person you should be worshiping is yourself. That's who you should be worshiping. That's who you should be listening to, tuning into. What do you need? What do you need? I'm here for you. You know, you are your concern. And this is a time period that is a challenge to get through. So, and it is all about this awakening to self, and awakening to not just who and what you are, but your role, your place, and why life exists. Like, it's all a part of it. And people really think that, like, this is just waking up to, you know, the government is bad. I still see, oh, the government's bad, but we're going to take it back in 2024. Like, what? Have you not caught on to what's going on with this system? That's a pretend thing. Doesn't matter what X you put on there. They put in who they are putting in because it's all part of the game. But people still want to keep playing the game. It's like, oh my God. I'm just, you know, but the game's going away. So they can keep wanting to play the game, but pretty soon they're not going to have a board to play on. And then what are they going to do? So awakening is happening. The change is happening. The world is changing. It's all happening. It's part of the process. That is the changing of the ages. And this whole thing happening with this planetary alignment and what's happening in the skies and stuff. Like, it isn't, like, I don't believe that there is space, like, way out there. Like, they're still showing this motherfucking comet that's coming at us. Live footage. I had just caught it, 4 days ago. It's been live footage coming at us for days and days and days. Who knows? It could have been for weeks. Where they think, like, who believes this shit? Like, what camera do they have way out there in space that is following this fucking thing? Oh my God. I can't even believe that I used to ever even believe any of this bullshit. That I used to be really into NASA and space, and I wanted to be a space traveler and stuff like that. And, you know, more stuff like with the cars and stuff. That is just a limitation to what we can really do. Like, I just feel like there's so much to come. There's so much to come, and I'm excited for what's to come. And I wish that we could hurry and get through this. I wish they'd hurry and pull this game off. Pull the game off the table now. But, you know, I mean, obviously the universe, the solar system knows better than I do. And they've got a certain way that this has to play out. And everybody's involved, and we have to allow everybody to play out their part to get to where we got to be. So, you know, we don't have any control. It's all destiny. And that's another good reason to stay as an observer. Because then it takes away the pain of what we're going through, because this is definitely a challenge, that's for sure. So I'll go out there today, see what I get lectured about. I may come back and talk about it later this evening. We'll see. But you know, I am meeting this challenge by, you know, I'm not being triggered, I'm not being defensive, I'm not being whiny, I'm not being anything. I'm just being like, oh, okay. We'll see. So we will see. And I think that I'm gonna have that sweet Olivia de Havilland moment of vindication. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.